Alright, what's up you guys? This is HJ here, and in today's video, I'm going to be showing you guys how the upgrade path for an Acer Nitro V15. Now, I won't be doing any upgrades in this video, but I just wanted you guys to see what upgrade paths you guys have and how you guys can actually get inside the laptop to make it a little bit easier for you guys and gals out there who just want to simply get inside the laptop and upgrade the entire thing. So for starters, what you're going to do is if you're in Windows 11, you're going to first want to shut it down. Now, I know some of you guys might be like, well, why do I have to shut it down? Because typically Windows does not register any changes like hard drive reinstalls or RAM upgrades unless you shut it down. In addition, some computer manufacturers like HP and Asus, for example, actually boot loop it when you do not shut it down and unplug the battery. In addition to that, when you do RAM upgrades. So just being careful to make sure you shut down the computer is a must for the upgrade path. Now I'm going to slide over here beside my camera. Bear with me because I'm wrapping my arms around the tripod here to try and do this. So what you're going to want to do is these are the two screwdrivers you're going to need. You're going to need a small flathead or just a regular pry tool or a guitar pick to get inside the laptop. With this one, if you actually do it for the first time and you have to do it again, the second time it's really easy to get your fingers underneath it. I like to use that tool just because, but because mine is like really easy to get inside of and I can use my fingers with it, it's really not a big deal for me. Now, as far as the screwdriver head size, I forgot to mention that. This is a Phillips. If it'll ever focus here, hold on. This is a Phillips. You notice the ridges on the inside of it that it has, like the mountain ridges. That's the kind of driver or screwdriver you will need for the upgrades. Now, this one is magnetic. Most of them are. So if you have trouble getting the screws out or the laptop is pretty deep with the screws, you can always use the magnet by touching the tip to the screws. And this will allow you, crap, I dropped it. This will allow you to basically lift it without having to pry your fingers into the hole. Where did that stupid screwdriver go? Give me 1 second. Sorry about that, you guys. We're going to a small space here. But you get what I mean. So now you're going to take all 11 out of the bottom panel. And you're going to do exactly how I'm doing it. Be careful. Make sure they're lifted at least 3/4 of the way up. Any less than that, and we will strip them. So just be very careful about that. I'm going to take these out carefully. When you put the screws back in, do the corners first. So if you do happen to lose a screw, it's not one of the critical ones. And then if you find it later, then that will be good as well. But at least you know you won't be missing a critical one if you should drop a screw. That's why I always like to do the corners of the laptop before I do the middle when I screw it back in. I actually lost a Victus screw, interestingly enough, a while back. It was pretty chaotic. There it goes again. Exhibit A. This is why you have to keep track of these. And also, please, if you do have a case or something to put them in a case. I can't stress that enough. I don't have one, so that's why I'm working like this. But if you do have one, please put it in a case. It really helps to make sure that you don't lose screws. If you lose screws and you have to file a warranty claim, they are going to roast you. No, I'm just kidding. They're not going to roast you. They're going to tell you that your warranty claim is denied. So please do not lose the screws. Also, some companies won't void your warranty for upgrade reasons, but if any damage happens as a result of it, they will also void your warranty. So follow these instructions very carefully. Now you're going to turn this one. I have it bent so that you can see the curvature right here. I'm going to turn it this way towards you. You're going to start from the top left corner. Okay, you're going to pull or put your thing in there if I can actually get it in. Yep, so you're going to pull it in there, give a little gap. Okay, you're going to slip your finger in there, pop that open, pry 2 times from the top middle. I'm going to pry 2 times from the top middle. I think, did I miss a screw? No, I didn't. I got that one already. Hold up. Did I? It's not. Okay. Give me 1 second. I'll be right back after I figured out what in the world is wrong with this. So I found what caused our little dilemma. Apparently, in my haste for dropping screws, there was one right here that I did not account for. I miscounted. I said 11, and it is 11, but I counted 10 after the fact, so I didn't count that 11 screw. But once you do all of that, it's pretty easy to just pry this thing open. Now let's take a look at our upgrade of here. We set this to the side. Okay. I'm going to take the cam off the stand, so stand by here. See what I did there? All right. So now here we go. Now inside the Acer Nitro V15, you do have a 2 dual fan setup. You have 3 main heat chambers that go out to the exhaust. One thing I like about the Acer Nitro is that the Acer Nitro doesn't exhaust from the bottom or solely from the back. It exhausts from the side too, and from the back, so it draws in from underneath. So it's not going to get overheated by necessarily. It don't get necessarily overheated for short-term use on a bed or on a lap. And you're not going to feel the heat from it either because it's not exhausting and intaking from the bottom like some other fans on other laptops do. So that's a good thing. You do have a 57.48, might as well say 57.5 watt-hour battery. This is a magnet that's holding it in, not like an actual set of screws. I don't know why Acer did that, but that's there. You also have 2 DDR5 RAM sticks. Now, I will say some companies like Amazon will mention that it's 4800. The standard RAM speed for the 2023-2024 model, this design, the AMV 1551 is actually 5200. The AMV 1541 is actually 5200 as well. So make sure that you do get the 5200. You can theoretically go up to 32 or 64 on 5200 and up to 32 on 5600. And I do not know if you can. I don't think you can get any higher than that in a SODIMM stick, but realistically, most people are only going to want it up to 32, unless you're a really heavy professional, in which case don't buy this. This has a 4060 and it tops out at 4060. Just buy a 4090 laptop at that point. My argument is, if we're going to go for this laptop, 32 is really all you need. If you're doing a creative task, if you're going to do 64, get a higher GPU. Like, at that price point, you might as well, because you're already spending over $1,000 extra anyways. These are the 2 drive slots. Now, this one is 1 terabyte. This one is 512. You could realistically fit I believe you can fit a 2230 and a 2242 in here as well. You just have to have an adapter for it. There are holes underneath it that do support that. Also, you can do 2 terabytes per drive slot. If you do 4 terabytes, make sure it's single-sided. I haven't tested double-sided drives yet, but based upon the distance from the motherboard to the top part right here, I'm gonna vaguely assume that, just for the purpose of this video, that double-sided drives will not fit. So if you do get 4 terabytes each slot, please get single-sided. And if you need to do double-sided, I would say probably get an external enclosure for this and run it off of the Thunderbolt 4 port that's on my right, but the laptop's left. Okay, so that about does it for this. Let's go ahead and put the cover back on. Now, to put the cover back on, it's pretty straightforward. You just basically undo what you did. It's really simple. Just undo what you did. So the same way that you put it on or took it off, the same way you're going to put it back on. Let me show you. So you're going to take this cover right here, place it back on top, just like so. Make sure everything lines up. Start from the bottom right and the bottom left corner. Push those in first. Then it's going to automatically push in the center middle. Right? Push, 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 and then do you like this to feel around? Because sometimes the middle screw locations, they don't pop in all the way properly like they're supposed to. So just making sure you do that is going to be really helpful. Now all you got to do is take the magnetic piece and screw in the 11 Phillips head screws. I'm not going to forget that 11th screw this time, I promise you. I'm going to remember that 11th screw. That 11th screw is always the vein of my existence. You want to know why? Because sometimes I am in my effort to speak and record at the same time. Sometimes I miscalculate things in terms of numbers for like how many of a quantity there actually is, because I'm trying to focus on two separate tasks at the same time. And my brain, because I have autism, I do not typically work well with multiple things at one time. So forgive me if I sound like a broken record, but I really am not going to forget these screws this time around, because I'm going to make sure I count them right. So by the time I put all these back in, we should hopefully have a total of 11, and I will count them on camera so you can see that we have 11 screws. Let's see, I'm going to put the magnet on this side here. Do that. Okay. You can use one hand if you're comfortable. I'd say 2 hands on the screwdriver is probably the best way to do it. I only recommend, if you're gonna do one hand and multitask while doing it, I'll leave that to the professionals who are like me, who have degrees in like tech support, who are in computer fields, who actually know how to do it without doing anything crazy and breaking the laptop. And if you are not comfortable upgrading it yourself, you can always take it to a repair facility. They do charge you, but some of them will upgrade it for you for free, as long as it's not soldering or anything involved. Like Apple MacBooks, they can't solder an SSD for you, but if you want them, like a Ubreak iFix down the street will charge you a couple of dollars, couple tens of dollars, or maybe 100 depending on the upgrade. But they will charge you, and you can get them to upgrade it for you. Most computer places will do that for you. And no, it's not a free service besides doing it yourself. But if you're not very tech savvy and you really need it done, I'd say either get a friend to do it for you who knows what they're doing, who you trust, keyword trust, don't get some random guy off the street to do it. Or you can go to the repair shop and get them to do it for you. And then, like I said, they will charge, but it's way better than doing it yourself and risk breaking it. Let's count these screws. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So yeah, we have all of them in. Let's go ahead and boot back up. Just to chat. Boot process shouldn't take long. I didn't install any drives or anything, so we don't have any boot looping to go through. All right, we're all set. Anyways, hope you guys enjoyed this video. Like it if you did, and please sub if you have not already. I noticed that there's a big chunk of you guys, 90-something%, that watch the videos in droves, but that are not subscribed to the channel yet, because subscribing helps me to reach new audiences with my content, and it also allows me to keep funding things in the future. So if you guys want to see more tech reviews, that's how you get that done. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. I'm HJ, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.